So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and tonight I'm joined by the lead singer of the band Atoll, Wade. So, Wade, how are you today?
What's up, man? I'm doing good, man. Just hanging out. Just getting everything ready for this tour coming up. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, yeah, you have a tour. When's the tour coming up, man?
So we have a tour. It's from April 11th to April 20th, and it goes through like the southeastern United States. Um, I think we hit spots like Shreveport and Pensacola, Florida. And I think we're doing like Dallas, and we got a few other dates. I'm not exactly sure that all the dates. But yeah, it goes from the 11th to the 20th. And we got Demon King on there, like Tech Death Wizards, and then we got Rat King from Seattle, and they're like sludgy Death Doom, and then we got Cesspool of Corruption. They're from Dallas, and they're like super tech brutal, brutal everything. So we got a pretty good lineup coming through with four bands, and it should be fun.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're supporting last year's album that you released, in Human Implants.
Correct.
Yeah. So that album, first of all, I can see that you're a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, or
Absolutely.
because when I started, the reason, like this last month, I've been binging on that with my girlfriend. I never seen that series until just a few months, so it's good because now I could knew the reference for Gay for God when Charlie's talking about. I'm like, oh, I heard this before. I'm like, oh, this is for the show. I think you used some snippets from the show on a few of the songs, right?
I think on that one, yeah. Like on that one we used, on the beginning and the end sample, it was from It's Always Sunny. And then the middle one is Big Gay Al. No, it's Mr. Slave from South Park. That's the middle
Okay.
one. The Jesus Christ one. Yeah, that's Mr. Slave.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And you guys have been around now for 10 years, and it's brutal death metal, but you can tell that you guys are have a sense of humor to it with some of the songs. So the album last year, I know, tell me a little bit more about like how the album was received last year, like what has been the experience of the fans.
So the fans really like it. That album was actually part of a separated double album. We recorded Human Implants. I mean, yeah, Human Extract and Inhuman Implants. We recorded those at the same time and wrote everything in one session. And then we decided to release it as two separate albums, 8 months apart. But yeah, people really like, both of those albums. Inhuman Implants has been probably our most successful album to date. We sold out of all the physical copies online, on indie merch, and just, we've been touring on it for a couple of tour cycles now. And, Gay for God is definitely one of the most popular songs on it, but it's got some deep cuts, and it's like our most ambitious kind of record yet. Took a lot of time writing it, and making sure we found the right person to mix it, and even the track listing and all that stuff. We really put a lot of time and effort into making sure that was set up right. You know.
Yeah, and so you've been around now for 10 years. You've been building like the fan base. Right now, the tour, besides the tour, once the tour happens, are you thinking of going back into the studio to record, or like what plans do you have for the
So
band?
we're thinking about putting out a new single. We're probably, I don't know. We're not sure if it's going to be fall or whenever, but we're going to think about putting out some new singles. We've got another album on our unique leader contract that we need to get done. So yeah, we're all writing. We've got some songs in the bank ready to go, and so we're just deciding, how we want to release those or what we want to do with it, because we kind of did those two albums all at once to kind of give ourselves some breathing room and some time to think about, what our next move was going to be, and so we're really trying to focus on our touring right now and getting our live show good and getting over to Europe and doing all that stuff. So we do have some plans, but yeah, we want to keep them guessing, so we're not exactly sure what we're going to do yet.
Yeah, so do you know like the direction you guys are it's gonna be more brutal, or it's too early to tell?
So we don't even know. Like a lot of our, we have a new member, Matt Markle, and this is the first time he's been on a record with us, writing and stuff like that. So we're not exactly sure. And he's got like a tech death background. So we just kind of like to let the songs flow the way that they're supposed to. And if we're feeling, if feeling some down tempo slams, or some hardcore type slams, we might do that. Or if we're feeling techie, we might, do some stuff like that. We like to run the gamut, and just if it sounds cool and it has groove, we're gonna throw it in there. So we don't really have a certain direction that we're looking at just now, but it will be heavy. I can promise you that, and it'll be stupid. It'll be stupid and heavy. Those are
Stupid,
things we're good at.
stupid and heavy.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh
good
yeah.
combination. Uh, so the let's talk a little bit more about the sampling. Like with your what you did gave for God. Like who came up with the idea of using that sample?
So that song was actually made. I mean, I don't know. A lot of our songs are made because I found a funny sample, and then that funny
Okay.
sample, like I don't know if you ever listened to Circumciser, but that song, it's on that album Prepuce, and Prepuce itself means foreskin. And so
Yeah.
like I was like I watched year one and I was like, oh shit, that's funny. So I was like, okay, we're gonna write a song about foreskins then. And so that happened. And then I was watching It's Always Sunny and I saw that and I was like, that's it. We're writing a song about choir boys and we're using this. And and the song title, lent itself. And so yeah, it's just one of those things that just happens. You just let it happen naturally. And it is just dumb. I was like, we just want to make something that's stupid and make people laugh. And
Yeah, I
also
think it's
has to have
cool.
like
Mhm.
yeah, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
Because it's like I don't know, the tough part about songs like that is anybody can make a stupid song, right? Anybody can make a dumb song with dumb samples, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I love Gorepot, I love bands like that, but it's really tough to have a song that has a dumb, like a stupid, really stupid sample, but still have really serious and relevant subject matter. You know what I mean? And like the Catholic Church and the whole choir boy, priest cover up molestation thing, like that's a real thing and it affects real people, you know, but it's we, that's, I think like that's the cool thing about death metal is riding that line between funny and brutal and like, I don't know, it's just interesting.
Yeah, not everyone can do it. It's a thin line between being too goofy or being way too serious.
Hmm.
Uh, so you guys are like you can blend both styles to do it. So I want to show the album artwork of the last album, which is pretty cool for the people who haven't seen it. So yeah, here we have it. Yeah, it's pretty cool album cover. Tell me a little bit about what you wanted to like the band wanted to convey with the album artwork.
The album before that is called Human Extract, and
Yeah.
it has another one. It was done by our bass player. um and we just wanted something that looked alien and just looked different. We wanted something with bright colors, because we've kind of done some more traditional slam like covers in the past, like Zoopocalypse was just a straight slam cover with just chaos and carnage. And Prepuce we got Dahmer Art to do that one, and so we wanted to stay in house, so our bass player made these ones. And yeah, we just he kind of made 4 or 5 different images that we picked out and we liked. And it was nice having that in house, though. You know what I mean? And we just wanted something that just looked terrifying and just looked different and gross, and like something that we kind of were looking at the pictures like far back and like what's gonna catch your eye in like a photo collage. You know what I mean? So there wasn't really a whole lot of like actual concept behind the art for it. We just wanted something that looked cool and weird and alien like.
Yeah, and it's good that you have the basis to do that and you keep it in-house. So you're saying that you write songs sometimes, based around samples. So besides that, like when you're tackling lyrics, like what's your process with that?
So I do it different ways. Sometimes it depends on album. Like I've done whole albums where I write the patterns in like I don't actually write the words, but I'll write like the actual patterns first, and then I'll write the lyrics around the patterns. Or then
Mhm.
sometimes I'll write lyrics down. I'll write like a couple pages of lyrics, and then As I'm listening through the song a few times, I'll pick out lines that fit, syllable wise or phonetically in there, and just kind of piece it together like that. Or I get really bored, so me doing the same thing the same way every time, I just get super bored, and my ADD kicks off, and I'm just like, I just need a different process to keep me interested.
Yeah, so you're not doing the same thing when you're writing the lyrics. So when you're on the road, and now that you're like on the road, like do you have any like funny stories from the road that you guys have had live?
I'm trying to think. We got so many, dude. We got so many. So our guitar player, we were in New Orleans. We were going down and we were playing at the House of Blues. It's in the French Quarter, like this. It was built for carriages. You know what I mean? Because it was built in
Mhm.
like the 1920s and stuff, or whenever it was built, but it's old. And so we're having our big 31-foot RV, and our guitar player's making left. We're going to pick up the stuff, and he like barely hits this brand new Corvette, dude, and like smashes the paint off the side of the bumper and the quarter panel. And so we get out and we're taking pictures of it, and all of a sudden we look around and we're surrounded by like 8 mean looking dudes. Like they were not very nice looking guys, and they were just like, "Do you know whose car you hit?" Turns out we hit like the drug kingpin guy's car
Oh
in
wow.
New Orleans. Yeah, like the main drug guy's car, and he was actually pretty chill, and after they didn't even really know how to handle or file an insurance claim. It was so funny, dude. And so like they after we made the insurance claim and stuff, and sent it, and sent them the card and all the file stuff, and finally they were like, "All right, man, well, if you're ever in New Orleans, hit us up." And I don't know, it's just a funny story how like so stressed out and everybody was so mad, and then by the end of it everything's fine. And I was like, I guess we're not letting our guitar player drive the RV in small areas anymore.
Yeah, no, and at least he was a shield drug dealer.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, his people were definitely a lot more concerned than he was. I mean, he knew he was going to get his money either way.
Yeah, that's a good story. So now when you're going out on April the road, like do you have like essential things that you take with you on the road that you need, to obviously make it a more pleasant experience?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so one is fresh socks. You got to have fresh socks. You're changing them, once, twice a day probably because you're walking around and it's hot, just you're using it. Socks. Got to have baby wipes. Absolutely have to have baby wipes. For the whore baths or whatever you're taking. And me, if you have long hair, I have to have dry shampoo. So
Oh,
like
okay.
if sometimes you can't get to a shower for a few days, and like the dry shampoo, you just spray it in there and brush it out, and your hair's clean and smells good, and you're ready to go. And that's essential. And then like for a vocalist, you gotta have cough drops, some kind of throat lozenge or cough drop, and uh yeah, and then and then a mask. You gotta have a mask to wear while you're sleeping. That way your throat doesn't dry out while
Oh,
you're
okay.
sleeping in the air conditioning and stuff. That's a little small trick that I learned just recently. Yeah, if you're a vocalist, sleep with your mask on, like with a face mask, and then the cold, like the dry cold AC or the dry hot air won't dry your throat out.
I didn't think of that one.
That
But
one's a good
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah, that's a. How many pair of socks? Because I always lose my socks.
So, and here's another trick, little tip trick. Don't take your socks with you. Go buy if like it's, and I'm telling you, this works great. If you have the
Mm.
money, go buy two, like what is it? You can get like 12 pairs of socks for $10 or whatever.
Yeah,
Just go buy brand new socks, take them with you, and just throw them away as you go. You won't have
that
to deal with it. Just
seems.
buy the cheap ones, and then they're fresh every time. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to deal with washing them or losing them or keeping them in pairs. You know what I mean? Just like just take the $20 investment, and your feet will thank you though, because you'll have fresh socks and you won't have to deal with it. Because sometimes money, I mean, we all know money's tight on the road, but like that kind of convenience, I'll pay $20 to convenience, not to worry about my socks the whole time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I would do the same thing with underwear.
Yep. Oh
Just
yeah.
keep it like fresh and clean. Yeah, because it's. I'm guessing you guys are you going like on a van for this tour? Because
We typically take RVs. We've done the van
Yeah,
thing and the SUV thing with the trailer, but the RVs is the way to go because when you do the full size RV, like the motorhome, they have well, one, everybody has a place to lay down and sleep. Two, you can stand up in that thing while it's driving. So you can stand up and
yeah.
stretch your leg, you know. Three, you have like, you kind of have like your own green room. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're a small club venue that doesn't have a green room or whatever, you can just go hang out in your RV while before the show starts. There's a microwave in there, a stove, a kitchen. A lot of
It's
them
like
have
a home away
refrigerators.
from home.
Yeah, well, so then you can like so on our last tour, I pre-made all my meals. I pre-made a bunch of like, ground beef and bean burritos and stuff, so that way you're not eating gas station food, and you're like your health is good, and we were cooking in there and everything, and that makes a difference. You're not eating crap food. Makes a big difference.
You are very prepared for that. So yeah, it seems like you got it all figured out. So uh, I'm guessing it's watching Atoll live has to be a beast. Like how brutal does your mosh pits get on your live shows?
They get pretty nasty. They get pretty nasty. And we have a good mix of, the karate pits, and the circle pits too. You know what I mean? Like people know on the faster parts, people know to circle pit, and on the slower parts, people know to do the karate stuff. I can't do it myself because I'm not athletic in any way, shape, or form. But and I respect the hell out of those guys for doing that. Yeah, we just try and keep it heavy and lighthearted and fun. I make a lot of dick and fart jokes and butthole jokes and just like I don't know. There's so much seriousness in this world, and the genre itself is so serious that it's like I don't know. And I'm not cool or like badass or anything, so I can't really stand up there like Corpse Grinder, or like the cool guys and just be badass. So I gotta run around and thrash around and just be stupid. But I couldn't be any other thing but myself anyway, so it kind of works out, I guess.
No, yeah, like the weirdest things I've seen in a mosh pit is some in a show here in Puerto Rico, like 2 years ago. Some dudes just got on the floor and started doing push-ups.
Mhm.
I'm like, why? I'm
It's
like,
the
why the
machismo, dude. It's the machismo. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I respect it, dude. I respect it. If you're trying to get your pump on in the pit, go for it, man.
Yeah. Do you do stage dives or you're like, fuck no, I'm not
No,
gonna stage
no.
dive.
After I saw Bill from Decrepit Birth break his hip, like the second show
Ouch.
of like their month tour. Yeah, it was in LA, and Bill's a small dude, you know what I mean? He's like, he probably weighs 170 pounds soaking wet. So it's not like he's a heavy guy. And he jumped off stage and they didn't catch him and he broke his hip and they had to cancel Decrepit had to cancel their whole tour.
And
So
not
I
only
definitely think
that,
about
yeah.
but
We
I'm
know
all for
that the healthcare system sucks. So like you don't want to break a hip in the
you
US.
know I'm in death metal, so I'm already broke. And so
Yeah.
I can't
So,
afford to break
exactly.
it.
You can't afford to break. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. So yeah, it seems like you got it all figured out for this tour, which starts. It's gonna well, it's like a week and a half. Like what places are you like? What
So
cities
we
in
are hitting.
particular are you playing?
So I know we're playing Shreveport. Hold on, let me I can look at it while I have it here.
Yeah.
Where are the dates? Our guitar players. You know what? I should have had this ready to go, but I'm visiting
No,
family in Montana, so
don't worry, man.
hold on.
Like
But yeah, it runs for a week and a half. It starts on the 11th and it runs through the 20th. And yeah, it's like we're calling it a Southern Sapphire Tour. And of course, so it starts in Fayetteville, Arkansas on the 11th, and then it goes to Shreveport on the 12th at Bears. 413 in Pensacola at the Handlebar. We got 414 Gulfport, Mississippi at the Hot Spot. We got April 15th, Houston, Texas, and that's at Pub 529. We got April 16th, that's Corpus Christi, so that's gonna be a beach show at Boozers. Corpus Christi
nice.
gets real nasty too, so we like that. And then we got Austin on April 18th, the 13th floor, and then in Dallas we got Reno Chop Shop on the 20th.
Sounds like it's gonna be fun. We have a bar here called also the Handle Bar. So yeah, that's like
And
a like a name. So yeah, it's gonna be So you're gonna go. It's gonna be a fun tour. We already know you're gonna have some clean socks. So and we know after this you're gonna do some more tours, and there's some singles that you're working at. So wait, I don't want to take too much time since you're visiting family and stuff. But thank you for chatting with me and talking about Atoll and the tour that you're in. So that you're going to go in. So before I let you go, Wade, anything that you like to say to the fans before we go?
So yeah, there's one thing I say to my fans every time, and it's be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It could change their life.